guys, it's Mellony. I'm just going to go through a little shoulder routine, just warm up the shoulders with some light movement, and then do some shoulder stretches and work with the neck also, the upper body. So we're going to start just by extending the arms out, up and over. Do a couple pranayama breaths. Inhale, palms touch. As you exhale, slowly come down. Exhaling out of your mouth if you like, or through the nose. Inhale, and just don't exaggerate the extension of the arms. Just make it a slow motion, just so you feel the rotation in the shoulders as you're opening out. So there's an outer rotation here, and you inhale, come up. As you exhale, slowly bringing it in. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. I want you to inhale the arms out. Bring the fingertips together and just do some small circles. And as you start to warm, you start to feel the strength in the shoulders start to build, the heat in the shoulders start to build. Maybe you expand your circle, make it a little wider. Make sure you keep the neck relaxed. You can keep a firm foundation through the sit bones, keeping the spine long, a little engagement of the core, keeping the spine nice and long. So just circle, circle, circle. Feel the rotation of the shoulders. Maybe you start to feel that heat about here. You start to feel a little fatigue the more we start to circle around. And sometimes the fatigue just happens with the quality of your thinking. Sometimes just the fact that we're moving in these slow muscle groups for the rotation and the health of the shoulders, they're a little bit weaker than the bigger groups. So let's circle back. Start with the smaller circles since we're changing the rotation. You'll notice maybe there's a little shift in the mind. We just changed the direction, so it's like a brand new thing. And then it catches up, the thoughts catch up. So maybe make those circles a little bigger and just work with the quality of your thinking, work with the quality of your doing. Grounded through the sit bones, small circles, just feel the rotation, feel the energy that's moving through the upper body. And most of us know that in times when we have tension or stress, a lot of us will carry it in the upper body. So I really want you to make sure you keep your neck relaxed, keep your ears heavy, keep your jaw relaxed. It's easy for me because I'm speaking, but notice if you're a clencher, if you start to clench your jaw, you'll feel that pressure come into the side neck. We don't want to do that. So we just really want to focus on the shoulders, maybe start to feel the triceps a little bit. Feel everything that it takes to move this, even the quality of your thoughts. 3, 2, and 1. Turn the palms up, inhale, arms up. And then as you exhale, float the arms down. 9, inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. So as someone like me that has dealt with shoulder issues for quite a long time, these weightless activities are so important, just like I said, to build those little muscle groups that really support the whole shoulder girdle. So inhale up, and you just feel like you're moving through a little resistance. Exhale, you want to have a lot of control coming down. Let's do 3 more. Inhale up, and then exhale, slowly lower down. We want to keep the shoulders strong, but we also want to keep them flexible. So after these last few movements, we're going to go in some stretch. So I want you to bring your right arm underneath your left arm and interlace the forearms into your eagle pose. So some of you may not have the flexibility to wrap your forearms. Your hand may be really low on your wrist, or maybe you can get those palms together, or maybe you can't do either one of those. You're going to give yourself a big hug. So you would just work on lifting the elbows up and bringing them down. Feel a nice pull across the upper back. Those of you who have that forearms interlaced, you inhale the elbows up. Try to get them in line with the shoulders, maybe a little bit higher. As you exhale, slowly lower down. Feel that pull across the upper back. Let's do 4 more of these. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale those arms up. Palms face one Exhale, float them down to that shoulder distance. Let's do 3. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time, inhale up. Exhale down. This time, left arm is going to sweep under right arm. You either grab at those shoulders, work your fingertips a little bit towards your spine, or you wrap the forearms together. And then inhale, elbows up. Exhale down. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale down. 3, inhale, elbows up. Exhale down. 2, inhale, elbows up. Exhale down. 1, inhale, elbows up. Exhale down. Release the arms. Inhale, arms come up, palms face each other. Exhale, float the arms down, shoulder height. 2 more, inhale, elbows, or hands come up. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bring them down. This time we're going to inhale them up, bring the palms together. And as you slide your elbows down to triceps parallel to the floor, bring your forearms to touch, elbows to touch. You won't be able to see my face now. Soften your gaze, push the forearms and the palms together, draw the shoulders back a bit, little knit of the ribs, pull in up through the pelvic floor, hold for 5. For 4, maybe you feel a little shaking, that's okay, just don't be too aggressive with it. 3, maybe start to feel the heat, the energy in the hands, that's just movement through the arms. 2, and 1. Slowly release them down. So I'm going to come onto my knees, and if that's not conducive for you, just stay on your sit bones. So I'm going to bring my knees together, and I'm going to start with my toes curled, because this morning I got up and I did one of Edward's challenges. I got up and walked on the beach. I did a little run too. So I'm going to stretch out my toes and the arches of my feet. So we're just going to give the shoulders a couple rolls, and if you can't get the toes stretch in, just come to the tops of the feet. Just rolling around, all that nice little sweet juice in the shoulders, and then let's roll them forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the shoulders back into neutral. Bring your hands behind you. Find your 10-pack, your full 10-finger grip. Slide that 10-pack over to the right waist. Bring your right elbow back. Lengthen up through the crown of the head and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Keep squeezing the elbow back. Maybe you find a sweeter spot if you move the head around, coming forward, or even bringing it up. Once you find that really sweet spot, just hold there and breathe. We'll hold for 3. I know the toe stretch, if you're in it, can get a little intense, but bring it back up into the upper body. Think there. 2. And 1. And float the head back up to center. You're going to sweep your hands back behind you, maybe open up the chest a little bit here. Shoulders back, lengthen up through the crown of the head, spread across the upper collarbones. And then slowly coming forward, we're going to pat out the feet. So bring your hands forward, hands come down under the shoulders, uncurl the toes, make a little sweep sound, just tapping the tops of the feet on the mat. It's just a soft tap. So now I'm going to keep the tops of the feet flat. You're welcome to go back into that toe stretch if you'd like, or if you want to go that front ankle stretch, we're going to keep the tops of the feet down. And you're going to bring the hands back behind you, interlace the 10 fingers, and then sweep that fist package over to the left this time. Left elbow draws back, and then the left ear is going to drop to the left shoulder. And then maybe you find that sweet spot. If it's right there at center, stay there. I know mine tends to be where I drop the chin forward. Let's do 3 breaths. Jaws relaxed. So if it helps for you to relax your jaw by exhaling out of your mouth, use that follow-up breath. 2. 1. Change. those hands back behind you. Maybe you do that little heart opener again, mild back bend, just drawing the fist package down towards the toes, lifting up, opening up, breathing, and then slowly bring it back to center. So we're gonna come onto all fours, tabletop pose, separate the knees. On your inhale, just drop the belly gaze up, lengthen through the crown of the head. As you exhale, round the spine, pelvic floor, chin to chest. One more time, inhale, drop the belly gaze forward. Exhale, round the spine. And slowly settling back onto the heels again. I'm going to separate my knees a little bit this time, going into a saddle pose, so I get the benefit also of a little quadricep stretch here. Inhale the arms up. As you exhale, the right hand will come down, make a little teepee finger, bend into your right elbow, reach over. And then inhale, arms come up, get long through the side waist. And then exhale, left hand comes down, come to the teepee finger if you'd like, right arm reaches over. And then inhale, arms come up. And as you exhale, you're gonna come into your wide-legged child's pose. So stretching the arms forward, settling the belly in between the thighs, arms reach forward, a soft bend in the elbows, let the shoulders melt, let the back neck melt, let your cheeks melt to the floor, your ears are heavy. And take 3 breaths down the spine. 2. And last one, final breath. Let's go into the side body and the outer left shoulder. So we're going to walk over the right side, getting the hands off the mat or as far to the far edge of the mat as you can. So maybe it feels great here for you to just drop your forehead. Know that you can always use blocks for props to bring the floor closer to you. So if you had any neck issues or shoulder issues, it may be difficult for you to get your forehead to the floor. So placing that block right there so you can rest it on there and really allow the body to receive the benefits of the stretch instead of stressing the head and trying to force it to the floor or hold it up. And then maybe if you could have a little more here, taking the left hand, webbing it into the fingers of the right hand, and then working from there. I like to press into my right hand a little bit and then press my left hip towards my left heel. It's just a very small, micro, soft movement. And then I start to work with that breath. As I inhale, feel that left lung and rib cage inflate. And exhale. So the intercostal muscles that weave between the ribs are very easy to stretch, as long as you're facilitating a nice full breath. And the more you feel that left lung, the more you'll feel it move up through the shoulder, the outer shoulder, maybe even into the tricep. And then change. So walk yourself back through center. We're going to walk all the way off the left side of the mat as far as you can over that left side. Drop the forehead down, taking a little evaluation here. Maybe you keep the hands just as they are, or maybe you want a little bit more, so you'd web the fingers together, drop the forehead down, and then start to work with that breath, maybe even pushing into the heel or the palm of that left hand. Breathing, inflating that right lung. Change. Come slowly back to center. So taking the arms long and then relax the shoulders. Slight bend in the elbows. Take one full breath here. Fingers are soft. Let's all together do a fallout breath. Exhale. And then bring yourself up into a wide-legged tabletop pose. We're going to do a little wrist stretch. So bringing the top of the hand to the floor. I'm only going to do one at a time. If you can do both, you're welcome to it. Maybe you make a little fist here, if that feels good for your wrist and your forearm, or maybe you just keep the hand relaxed. 2 more breaths here. One more breath. Change. So if you have both hands, just stay there if you can. Top of the hand down. Maybe you make those fists, maybe you don't. Maybe you just relax. You're gonna make this a true yin practice. You can even work with the whole body, moving back and forth a bit. Remember, we don't want shaking, especially in a yin practice. We want a nice, relaxed body. Change. Bring that right palm down. We're going to just flip the hands this time, keeping the palms down. So bring the fingertips towards the knees, towards your toes. And you can flip both hands, or you can just flip one hand. I'm going to flip both hands on this time. So something you could also do is do alternate hands, just to kind of tease the mind, tease the nervous system. So both hands down if you're just doing one hand. One more breath on one hand. So a lot of us in the yoga studio are doing handstand practice, and we're doing some preps for handstands, so these wrist stretches are very, very important. Anyone that does downward facing dogs and chaturangas regularly should be stretching their wrist, or if you're just working at a computer, but especially with those handstands, because we are spending so much time on our hands with our full body weight on our hands. So if you flipped, you're on the opposite hand now. We're all going to take one more breath here together. And then as you exhale, slowly release. We're going to settle back onto the heels, back into that saddle pose, and just roll out the wrist. Roll it out the opposite direction. Shake them out, up and down, side to side. And then I want you to make a fist package and just do circles. Circle in the opposite direction. And shake it out. So come back to that wide-legged tabletop pose. Inhale, right arm comes up. So this is one of everyone's favorite poses. Thread that needle, bring the right ear to the mat. Relax to the right neck. Some of you do a twist, and since I'm doing a more passive practice, and this is one of my favorite variations of this pose, extend the left arm forward. The palm of the right arm reaches up. Let the fingers curl so you know the right arm is completely relaxed. And then settle down into that left shoulder. Breathe soft, like your breath is a silk scarf, allowed to move through you. Two. One. Change. Left hand comes down. Right arm reaches up. Let's circle that wrist a few times. And then do a full rotation with that right arm. Just lubricate that shoulder girdle. And then sweep it back. Inhale, reach it up. And then right hand comes down, moving right into the left side. So left arm reaches up. Circle the wrist. Do what feels right. Do what feels organic and natural. Left shoulder, left ear comes to the mat. So right arm reaches forward, and then get heavy. You don't want to feel too much pressure in the neck, so make sure that most of the pressure is in the outside of that left shoulder. You feel a nice lengthening in the lower back and then the mid back. You can dip down to the rib cage. Last breath. Feels so nice. Just want to stay here. Right hand comes down, left arm comes up. Circle that wrist. Just get some fluid, some energy moving. Circle the arm forward, one full rotation. Open up, and then circle it back, one full rotation. Open open it up. So left hand comes down. We're going to come back to melting heart pose. For right now, I just want to get off the knees. So we're going to come down to the forearms and step the feet back, coming into our forearm plank. We're just going to shift back and forth a couple times. You can do this on your knees too. So coming forward and back, forward and back. Let's do it for 5. Nice and soft. 4, 3, neck is relaxed. 2, and 1. We're going to drop the knees down, coming all the way to the belly, reaching the arms out. Bring your left ear to the mat. I just want you to hold here in a little T shape for a moment. Just let the shoulders relax, let the neck relax. Allow your body to receive the transition to the foundation on the floor. Full front body connected to the floor for the time being. So I want you to breathe across the arms, through the back, down the spine, all the way to the heels of the feet, to the toes. Traction out your body through breath. And as you exhale, soft exhale out of the mouth. We're going to go into a little shoulder stretch. So we're going to bend that right elbow, place the palm of the hand down or come to the tippy fingers. And then slowly start to tiptoe your left fingers out, open up that shoulder girdle, and then keep that neck relaxed. So again, you see my blocks over there, not going to get out of the pose, but if you have a tendency for your head, especially men, they have much larger shoulders. So if your head does not touch the floor, you can actually settle it on a block, or even a folded towel, or even your fist here. And some of you may be too tight in the shoulders even to put your fist there, so that's why it would be so important to place a block or some type of prop underneath the head. So I do have the flexibility where I can relax the head down. So I'm going to work with that. So you notice I have a little support here with my right hand. If I wanted to add a little bit more, I could take my right hand and tuck it behind my left side waist. And then I'm going to feel more opening across the chest. Sometimes it causes a little tension in the neck, so you have to consciously relax, 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 relax. Two more breaths. One breath. Change. Bring your right hand down. Slowly roll yourself back to center. And I want you to extend both arms out back to that human T and bring your right ear to the mat. We're just going to pause here, allowing that left shoulder to really receive the stretch and recover from it. So take a full body breath across the shoulders. Exhale softly out of the mouth. Let's move into the right side. So you're going to bring your left hand to support and push you up as you tiptoe your right fingers out a little bit, just building a little bit of space. That right ear relaxes to the mat. So you can take that left hand, you can support yourself here, especially if you can't get as open as I can. Some of us would actually look like this in this pose, and they're going to feel a tremendous stretch there. So keeping this left hand for support, or you could even bring a bolster around and just rest your left shoulder and front body on it. But if you have the flexibility, you're going to open yourself up, and then maybe even take that left hand and tuck it behind the right side waist. None of it is necessary. You can stop at the hip, or you can still keep that hand here. Still a great stretch. Notice your breath. Your breath should be fluid, should be silky smooth. One more breath. Change. Left hand comes down, slowly roll yourself back to center. Belly rests on the floor, left arm reaches out, bring the left ear back to the mat. Find that full body breath, feel the recovery. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders, forehead comes centered. Press yourself up. You're gonna widen those knees back out. We're gonna go into melting heart pose. So, this is one of those where you can actually use a block. A lot of us cannot get our chest all the way to the floor. So if your chest isn't going to the floor, there's a good chance your forehead isn't going to go to the floor either. So I'm going to show you a supported one, and I'm going to show you one without the blocks. So your hips are high, your heart is low. So you'd actually rest, and then you can rest your forehead for most of you. Some of you may even need 2 blocks here. The further you shift forward, the less it's going to be to get your chest to the floor. So always remember that. So the further you bring back, the more bend there's going to be in the mid and upper spine. And the deeper the shoulder stretch is going to be. So you have to play with it. It's kind of like a frog pose. You know how when you're going into frog pose, working yourself forward or back is going to intensify the inner thigh stretch? It's the same with this upper spine stretch. So dropping, and a lot of it has to do with the tightness in your shoulders. So maybe you're bringing that chest to the block, maybe you rest your forehead here, maybe you don't have the flexibility even to get your forehead to the floor, and then you bring the other block into play. So that's the block variation, or you remove the block, and then you drop your chest to the floor. So I have the flexibility, my neck to bring my chin forward. If that's not working for you, again, just bringing the forehead to the floor and letting the chest relax down. So if it's too much on your shoulders for your arms to be straight, bringing a little bend in the elbows is gonna help that. Make sure you're breathing, you're not just short, shallow throat breathing. You're breathing past the collarbones, up the spine, into the tailbone. Two more breaths. I'm going to press into my forearms, lift my chest, walk myself back, settle the buttocks back towards the heel. We're going to go right into a little tricep stretch. So arms, I'm going to do it with the block first. Elbows can actually rest on the block. And what you want to do is you want to walk your elbows as far forward as you can. Drop your head in between your biceps, and then prayer hands come to the back of the head or the upper spine. You have to work with the block though to get your head down and your elbows, making your elbows wide enough to rest your head down as far as you can. Just make sure you're not straining your neck. So without the block, elbows walk as far forward as you can. You settle your buttocks back. You feel that length of the triceps. You bring your hands back. You let the shoulders and the chest, the ribs collapse down, and then breathe wide and long. One more breath. Hands come down. Slide your hands in towards your knees. So I'm going to grab a bolster here. I'm going to do a little heart opener, a little back bend. So bringing the bolster down. You're going to turn around, bring the tailbone to the base of the bolster or a pillow. You can even do this on blocks. So rest your spine back. You can bend your knees. Let your hips get heavy towards the floor. You can extend your legs out. Just find your variation with your legs. Really the focus here is on the upper body and the shoulders. So find something to prop yourself up so that the arms can open and drop down. Let your hands relax. Let the fingers curl. 5 breaths. Or more. If you find one you really like and your body is totally singing in it, a nice little love song, and stay there. 3. 2. 2, and 1. Bring the arms up. Bring yourself up, heel yourself up off that bolster. Move the bolster out of the way. And then turn around. We're going to do a little half straddle pose, so extend your right leg out. Inhale, arms come up. Twist over that right leg, coming down nice and slow. So you can bend your right knee as much as you need to. You can use a strap or hand towel here, or just rest your hands beside your calf. Inhale, square off the shoulders, lengthen, exhale, fold. So I'm going to go into the shoulders a little bit more. You can stay here. We're just counterposing the back also, just doing a little back bend. But you can actually hook your big toe, hook your elbow, bring your left hand to your left hip, heel open the chest. Maybe the left arm can come over. You can hook the hand or just keep it at a hover. And then lift that left rib cage, open up. And then float the chest back down. And then walk your hands back up and in. Extend your left leg out. Bend that right knee. Inhale, lengthen up. Twist over the left leg, fold forward. So hands can frame that left leg. You can bend the left knee as much as you need to. Use a strap or a hand towel, any type of prop. You can hook the big toe. Hook the elbow to the inside. Inhale, right arm comes up and over. You hook, you open. And then you square yourself back off. And then inhale, arms come up. Hands come down, cross your legs. Wrap your right arm over your left arm. Inhale, as you exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Inhale, open up. Left arm up over right arm. Grab towards your spine, drop your chin to your chest. Take one full back body breath. Inhale, open out. Drop your hands behind you, fingertips point towards the back of your mat. Open up the chest. And then sweep the hands to the front of the knees as you exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift the chest, elbows draw back, heart pulls forward. Exhale one more time. Seated cow pose, cat pose. One more time, inhale. And as you exhale, come to neutral, long spine. Inhale together, close your eyes. Exhale, carry your hands to heart center, float your chin to the chest, self-honoring bow. Hands come to forehead. Together we bow. Namaste.